Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
And this is Real Talk with George and Frazier. What's going on, brother? How are
Not
you?
much, brother. Doing good. What about you, man? Today is
Um,
Friday.
oh yeah, man. Today's Friday. Just getting ready for the show. Listen, I had to go back and actually watch the interview with Dom again. I've watched it like two or three times already because it was like the pearls that he was dropping, you know,
Yeah.
and some of the things that he was saying. Even though I was listening, I like to listen to it again and again to make sure I heard everything and make sure I didn't miss anything. So I was pretty stoked, man. Pretty stoked about that
But
interview.
well, I couldn't see that. I couldn't do it with one time because I don't have that part of it yet. But when you send it to me, I'll make sure I watch it 2 or 3 times to beat yours.
Well, man, look, you can go right to the Facebook page and watch it just like I did. That's exactly what I did.
I know, right? And then share it.
That's it. But we got another good show today. We got Bola, Yinka, Obebe will be with us. So
I'm gonna let you say that one. I'm gonna let you say that one. Oh, this pop right in too. Boop.
nice, absolutely. So we'll bring her right into the show.
Hello. How
And
you
welcome
doing?
to Real
Hello.
Talk. How are
Boy,
you?
you should come with a
I'm
pose and
very
all.
well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Pose with it and all. Like, I'm ready.
How are
So
you? Hey,
we are
Good,
George.
doing
good,
Hey,
good.
well.
Fraser.
Yes, we're doing well. Thank you.
Good
Thank you
to
for taking
see
the time
you.
and being. Thank you for taking the time and being on our show. Um, Tell the fans a little bit about you, your background, your name, everything. I just butchered it. I said Bola,
Yeah,
Yanka, Obebe. So I don't think that that's
yeah.
correct.
You did a good job of it.
Oh,
I'm proud of that.
well. It's nice being here. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Bola Yinka Obebe.
Baby.
So I try to
Oh, okay.
pick that on the syllables, right?
I know, right? Like,
Bola
okay.
Yinka Obebe. So my surname is like a compound name.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to try saying that? Bola.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let Joe go first.
Bola, Yanka, Obebe.
Bola, Yinka, Obebe.
Not bad. Oh no, so it's the not not Bola. It's Bola.
Bola,
Bola. Oh, see
then
that? You
Yanka,
go, Jordan.
Bola, yeah.
Bola. Absolutely.
Then it's Yinka,
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 Yinka.
Yinka.
Why
Yinka
ain't you go? Yeah. I'm like the Asian
Obebe.
version.
So I'll tell you the meaning of my name.
We ready on that one.
Here we're waiting.
Yeah, sounds right.
So we're waiting. What's the meaning of your
Okay, I'm
name?
struggling with
What's the
this.
meaning?
Yeah,
What's
okay.
the
I
meaning
have
now?
this. So Bola means it's actually an abbreviation.
Okay.
Bola, my full name is Oye Bola.
Okay.
Okay. We got that one. Okay.
So
See, I
All
I'm
right.
learned something
Oye
right
Bola. Oye
Oye, Bola.
Bola. Oye means like having a title.
Uh-huh.
Bola means being born into wealth.
Okay.
I like that one already. I'm gonna
That's
double that
right.
Oye,
myself.
yeah. Oye Bola, absolutely. Then Yinka means being surrounded by.
Okay.
To be surrounded by.
By wealth. I like
I'm
that.
not quite sure what Obebe means. I mean, that's my husband's name.
Okay. Okay. That's nice.
So I'm so ashamed to say that, but
We won't tell him.
I'm not sure what it means.
We won't tell him.
So his name is actually Yinka Obebe, but for some reason while we were dating, because I really couldn't put a meaning to his surname, I wasn't sure I liked the surname, so I decided to make my surname a compound name. So I made it his name and his father's name. So
Oh,
our family is the only Yinka Obebe family. So myself and the kids were Yinka Obebe, while every other person is Obebe.
Okay. Well, look, that works. That's
I
very
like that.
That's very Americanized.
I know, right?
Well, you could put it that way, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, because
Absolutely.
we definitely deal here with a lot of hyphens
Oh
and their
yeah,
names. You know,
every day.
a lot of our wives
Oh
don't want to
yeah.
give. They don't want to give it up. You know, so it's definitely all good. But
To the
You
followers.
know.
tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your background and what do you do?
Okay. So I work in media. My background. First, I like to describe myself as I'm a polymath. So I have so many interests,
Okay.
and I love to explore my interests. Um, I'm a Gemini, so I tend to get very bored easily. So once I'm on a particular path, I need, I just need some spice, right? I need something to change things
Yep.
up quickly. And if I don't get that, I get bored. So I tend to move through things or concepts or ideas or interests easily. So it's given me a very broad background.
Nice.
Um, but right now, my core is media. And when I say media, so I run a production company here in Nigeria. It's called Red Box Africa. What we do is we do content creation. Let me put it that way in today's world.
Okay.
But we offer our services more to brands and agencies. So you want to do TV commercials, you want to do documentaries. What we really haven't gotten into is making movies or telling stories or doing film. But
Right.
every other aspect of storytelling or selling a product using video, that's sort of like our core. A signature that we also have is we call ourselves a channel support brand.
Right.
So we found out that TV stations, it's almost impossible for them to fill up their 24-hour timeline just with their in-house production.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
we kind of coined like a niche for ourselves, saying we provide channel support for TV channels. And we've done that for quite some time now. I mean, we've done that for a couple of TV channels in Nigeria and across Africa. We've done a couple in East Africa, in Uganda, in Nairobi, and the likes. So we focus on doing channel branding, and sometimes we produce some shows for TV channels. Sometimes in 2015, we decided to start up our own platform called Pop Central. And we started off on Instagram. And sometimes in 2019, we're in 2021 now, we got on one of the biggest pay TV platforms. It's not one of the only,
Right.
the biggest pay TV platform in Africa called DSTV. So we now have our own channel called Pop Central TV on DSTV. We have an app called Pop In by Pop Central, where people can also watch on the go. I mean, if you're unable to make a date with TV, because TV thrives on appointment viewing. But we
Right.
all know that life after social media and the digital world now has changed. People consume their content on the go. So we had to find a way to adapt to that. And what we did was creating our own app to ensure that people could still follow the shows live as it's going. And yeah, and I mean, 2020 was such a great year for us because I mean, the lockdown,
Yes. Drove
Yes.
everybody to their
people, I
cell
mean,
phones.
around
That's right.
here in Africa, in Nigeria, we found that exactly, you know, on their cell phones, but because they were locked at home, data is a bit expensive here. You find that the majority of people use their office Wi-Fi to actually browse.
Right.
So the moment they were locked in at home, the viewership on TV actually pushed up. So it was really a good time for us. A lot of people discovered the channel, and yeah, it's been a high up since then. But then, speaking of my other interests, I have before I got into media, my core was fashion. Interestingly, which I stumbled into as just one of those things that I was going to try. And I mean, I did that quite successfully to a point where, I mean, I'd already made like top 12 within the state on certain platforms and all that before I then pushed on into media. I'm also a biker. I don't even know if I have the right to call myself a biker anymore. I haven't ridden a bike in like 2 years. But I used to ride a bike. I used to be a biker, ride. I mean, try to go from one town to another. I mean, it was fun. It was just therapy for me. So it was something that I would do every weekend. I just look for a very far place to ride to, just have fun. And you know, I'm a lot bigger now. Before now, I was very, very tiny and petite. So it used to amaze people when they see me get off the bike and they find out that, oh my God, she's a woman. Then, right. Oh, this tiny little girl is riding a bike. And I used to get, you know, it was cruise for me. I used to catch a lot of cruise of people's reaction from seeing me ride. So, I mean, it's been interesting, fun. So my new interest now is I just took on decorative cement products. So I just finished a course doing that. And I just want to start trying out my hands. Like the whole of today, I was out shopping. I was out shopping for cement. I was out shopping for sand and stuff. I want to start making things with my hands. Like that's my new, that's all that's in my head now. And I'm just so super excited about it. But for things that I'm naturally inclined into, like, let me see if you guys can see what's on my wall. Oh, the pink stuff. You can't see it. So it says, normal people scare me, and I read mine too.
Okay.
So let me ask you.
I fancy myself, I do well reading people. I'm quite analytical in thinking. So I do well. Sometimes I call myself an organizational psychologist. And I actually function as that because I work with my husband. So we both own our businesses, Red Box Africa and Pop Central TV. So my core function at Pop Central is people and experience, how people experience the space, and even the staff that work with us. I mean, we have over 40 staff working with us, and you have to manage what goes in, day out, and all of that. And that is sort of like my core. So I did a couple of courses online, though, on psychology, negotiations, and all of that. So it's just sort of like my turf. I flourish there naturally. So yeah, that's me.
Nice.
Awesome. You know, it
George,
sounds like everything Frazier and I do. You know, Frazier and I met in real estate. We always say this, but you know, we're martial artists. We're, you know, husbands, fathers. We have other business interests. You know, it just keeps going and going and going because as an entrepreneur, your mind just turns. You know, Frazier went to film school. I've developed a few reality shows that I've pitched. You know, it's just interesting that, you know, look, the thing is, if you're not moving, you're dying. A body in motion stays in motion. Absolutely. A body at rest stays at rest. So we try to, you know, to always keep it moving. And that being said, why you call it Pop Media, right? Is that the name of your company? Pop
Central. Pop Central.
Pop Central.
Now does Pop Central.
Right. Does Pop Central. Yes. Thank you. Pop Central. She said it like 3 times, Frazier. I got her. Pop Central.
Yeah, right. You're right.
So that being said, with Pop Central, what type of content do you guys do? Is it more for the entertainment aspect of it? Is it more political? Is it more financial? Is it a conglomerate of all of that type of media? What type of content do you provide, or do you prefer to provide?
Oh, so we're youth focused. We're youth focused. We're culture focused. We found that most TV channels that cater to young people only provided music videos. So you had channels like MTV Bit or like MTV, right? So we had the Nigerian version of all of those. And at the time we came in, because we've always worked with young people, even at Redbox, we've always worked with people who were getting into the job industry for the first time. So you had a lot of people with interesting mindsets coming into entertainment. And we had sort of learned a thing or two. So we found out that there were certain things that were, or let me put it like certain issues with the Nigerian youth when they were coming into the job market. There were certain expectations which were vague, you know? So for us, we set out to say, hey, we wanted to create a platform where people could express without judgment, you know, because of the kind of culture that we have in Nigeria, in these parts of the world. There's a lot of purity culture in our way of life. So, I mean, I've been married 12 years and I'm carrying this type of hair. And I'm rebellious. I'm rebellious for doing that, right? But you find that someone would see me and immediately profile me like, I'm most likely not responsible, I'm most likely this, I'm most likely that, you know? Yeah. And if you watch a lot of our movies, when they're trying to depict the bad guy, if you're a female, if they're trying to depict you as a bad female, most likely you'd be tomboyish, most likely you would smoke, most likely you gesture in a way that was typical for people in entertainment, just because that is how they live or that is how they choose to express. Exactly. So we wanted to create a platform where people felt free to express without judgment. That's one. And secondly, we also wanted to kind of change the mentality or the thinking of young people. We had people who were entitled, who thought, oh, you owed them something because you were older. So one of the things that we do at Pop Central is we never give things away. You have to do something to earn something. So you would easily find a young person looking at me and feeling, oh, you're well off. You're probably rich or wealthy, and you should be able to do this for me. And I'm like, what value are you giving me in return?
That's right. That's right.
You know, but that's not the thinking. So in our own little way, anytime we have a gathering, we introduce games or just fun activities, and we tell you to participate. For people who participate, then they get something. If you don't, then hey, no. I mean, you just don't get something because you came. Everybody showed up, you know? So in our own little way, it was just a platform for young people to be able to speak out freely, express themselves. So we're very quick, we're very bright, we're very vibrant, and the energy is just everywhere. So it's not, music content is just about 20%. The rest is actual content, talking about different things. We're still the only TV channel in Nigeria as of today that carries a sex show, a 2-hour-long live sex show, where people call in to ask about, sex issues, and that airs between 10 and 12 every Tuesday live, you know, and it was such a shock when we started. So we have a lot of off ideas, and with Pop Central, the strength or the core of our model is something we've tagged co-creation. Co-creation is, we admit that as a channel, we don't have all the bright ideas to bring the content to you. So we call ourselves sort of like the YouTube of linear TV. So Fraser, you might have a fantastic idea, which I most likely wouldn't have thought of because our backgrounds are different, our leanings are different. There's so many things that are different. So you bring that to us and we vet it and we look at it. Is it going to speak to our audience? Is it going to speak to our market? because we need money.
Exactly.
Right.
Is it something that we can monetize? If it's that, then we then co-create. We agree on a sharing formula. And once we're able to monetize the show on the platform, we put in all the production because yes, we're the experts. We give you production, we give you the support, how to turn your idea into a TV format, say 30 minutes format or 60 minutes format, whichever way it goes. Then we put that on air and we hope for brands to come on it, or we find other ways to monetize. And once we monetize, we share that. So that has been our model, and it has been an interesting run. Nobody has done it before, so it's uncharted waters. So we're kind of, playing around it, but it's been amazing for the past 3 years, actually.
Nice. So when you say monetization, in the United States, either you have to raise money through sponsorships to start the programming, and then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, advertisers like it, so advertisers now will advertise on your show to generate revenue. How does it work in Nigeria and in West Africa? Because I know that getting advertisers and sponsors are extremely difficult because you're dealing in currency, money, and everybody wants to spend a penny, but they want $1 worth of work.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So it's pretty much the same. I mean, for those of us here, I wouldn't compare much with America because we're miles apart in the way we do things. Also, the culture correctness, the how do I put it now? There's certain things that would work here that probably wouldn't work. Exactly, that wouldn't work at your end. So here with TV, we also make most of our money from advertising, selling ad spots, and if you're also able to get a sponsor, someone to sponsor your show. However, we're not we're a consumption market. I'm being careful picking my words here. So we don't fund ideas in this part of the world. So if you take an idea to a brand, except someone who has committed to, and in quote, helping you, which shouldn't be. It should be someone seeing the viability of your idea and wanting to invest in it. But it's the other way around here. So the way it works here is the content creator has to go look for funds to at least take the first leg out.
Right.
If you now do something nice and you're lucky enough that it catches fire, then you most likely might get advertisers behind you on the second season. Right. So a pilot season is always on you as a content creator. And that is why a lot of our content sort of seem like they're not at par internationally. Exactly. Because it's a case of you make do with whatever you have.
That's
so
right.
People do not invest in ideas, they invest in results. And that's why I said we're a consumption nation. We only consume things that we can see. We don't invest in ideas. So I kind of walk up to a brand now and say, oh, I have this idea and it's long term, forget it. You have to go find your funding somewhere else. So you find a lot of people doing content, actually sustaining their content from doing something else. Because that's the only way you can survive here, and until you've done it consistently. So something we've done at Pop Central is we just kept showing up. So we made sure that whatever way you keep showing up, you show up the first year, you show up the second year, now we're reading out on the third year, just keep showing up. And the longer you stay, the conversation starts getting better.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So let me ask you one more question with Pop Central. The channel that you guys are on, the national channel, who owns that channel? Is that a channel that's owned within the continent network, so to speak? Like, is there a partnership channel in Liberia? Is there a channel in Ghana? Is there a channel in Sierra Leone? How does that work when it comes to publishing the content on those types of networks, and um, how is it distributed as far as market share is concerned?
So to own a channel, first of all, you need to get a license from the
Mm-hmm.
Broadcasting Commission, the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission. So not everybody, it's not that easy to own a channel, and there are also different types of channels. You have there's something we call free to air national channels, and you have the free to air license, and you have the DSB license. DSB is digital broadcasting, digital service broadcasting, and that is what we have as Pop Central to be able to, because we are on satellite, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we're on a pay TV platform called DSTV. I don't know what kind of platform I will put that as. So
that would be like
DSTV
satellite
is sort
TV
of
here in the
like,
United States.
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
where you can tune into different channels. Once you
Right.
subscribe to that, you have access to so many other channels, depending on what bouquet you subscribe to. So that's sort of where we are. But you still need to have a license to be able to say you own a channel, except for those who say, oh, they have a YouTube channel. Nigeria, for some reason, really, they don't take those seriously. But for you to say you own a channel, like you have a number where people can tune into, it's sort of like a big deal. So for now, we're limited to how far the platform takes us. So for now, we're limited to Nigeria and a few African countries, but there are some platforms that are open to the whole of Africa, or open to the whole of West Africa, or open to West Africa and East Africa. So, but DSTV themselves, that's the pay TV platform, they are actually across Africa, except maybe for Egypt and some Northern African countries.
Right. Okay.
Gotcha. Now, I'm on TV. I'm at a TV question. I can give this one. So let me ask a question. I was listening to some places were telling about how that Africa now integrating more like streaming apps or creating their own streaming platforms. And like, are you one of the companies that trying to get into that integration or tech where to try to create your own streaming network where you actually stream more than just Africa or maybe the UK, maybe eventually to the United States? Because as you know, Africans are spread out. So they're everywhere, and the youth and everything else. So you can be able to reach them also. Are you planning in the future, maybe in the future planning to start developing something like that similar with your technology you have now? Or create technology?
Actually, I think we have that. I think we have that already. Our app is called Poppin by Pop Central, and it's already designed for us to be able to put other content that probably doesn't go on the linear TV on it. So yes, it's definitely something to look at in the future, and I think we're already on the way there. So I would say not that we're getting on other people's platform, but we're already in the space of, we've created our own platform. So what we need to do is to begin to expand and open it up as much as possible. I mean, on our app right now, we have podcasts. I mean, we just set up our radio studio. So we're starting with online radio, and we're trying to get a radio license to be able to actually broadcast to, say, maybe Lagos or even the whole of Nigeria. That's in the works. But while we're at that, we're already broadcast online, and we call our Radio Central Radio, and we have certain shows. So what we've done is, at Pop Central, right, we believe in the duality of the nature of everybody. We don't believe that people just exist as one, like life is linear. No. So while I might be a top executive in media, it doesn't mean that, I don't like to get dirty with my hands. Now, I was all over the market today trying to buy cement, trying to buy this, trying to buy that. And at the same time, I'm probably the girl that you find on the table in a nightclub the day I choose to go out. And it doesn't mean that I'm also not spiritual. I'm actually very spiritual. So there's that side of me. And I need to be able to express all of this, all of who I am without this stopping me from being this, without the stereotypes breaking that. And that's sort of how we also express the brand. So while we're on TV, we express strongly on social media. We express strongly through events or experience or party. And at the same time, we express really strongly through radio. Now, to other people, they feel like, and we're also very big on merchandise. We're probably one of the only platforms in Nigeria that we're very big on merchandise, and we're proudly so. We won't sell our merchandise to you, while others will give it to you for free. So we believe that we have so much to say, and we can say it in whatever form we feel like for time. So what that has helped us to do is that it helps us connect with subcultures. So you find people who are into poetry and are into reading. Then you find out that, this very flashy brand also has this very cerebral side of them. One of the ways that we describe our audience is we want, even our staff, especially when I'm talking to them and trying to hire them, you need to be that person that will party hard on a Friday, go to club Friday night, Sunday night, and show up in a boardroom on a Monday afternoon and kill it.
Right.
Because yes, you have to express and let it out. So that's how we live through, and that's how we also express as a brand.
Okay.
Nice. I'm gonna tap on that a little bit. I want a little bit of. Now, you say you like to be the integrator, the first to come in Nigeria and Africa. I was saying, I know that some African channels don't have a lot of foreign content or integrating foreign content into Africa. Like, that's something you looking to do later on, to integrate some like maybe content from US, content from UK, to integrate it into Africa and be the first to do that and be innovative in that way, introducing the outer world into Africa, so you see what's out there.
Well, he's talking also about free content.
Interestingly, there's a lot of content from outside.
Right.
There's a lot of content from outside in Nigeria. So even if we do that, we wouldn't be the first.
Right.
We're so Americanized. Like, we know everything happening there. Like,
right.
Just pick a kid on the street, they'll tell you about America from the movies. So we're very, very, very in touch with you guys. We know your music. We know before now. I mean, if I date it back, say 8 to 10 years, that's when Nigerian music actually really began to pick up major. Before then, at clubs, it was majorly what you find in America. It was majorly American music, American movies. That's what would, even our national carrier, the TV, NTA, once it's 10 p.m., they start showing you American movies. That was before our movie industry began to really produce. Now, one of the challenges that we face as content creators is we do not have the funding of America, but we are forced to compete with America. Why? Because the audience here has been exposed to the taste of you guys, but we do not have the financial backing to back it up.
Right.
So an average content creator here gets bashed without thinking of the resources that were available to them to produce what they could per time. But I mean, we're still edging on anyway, because the more we do it, the better we get. You know, and in recent times, we've had a lot more, investment opportunities, and people coming in wanting to, you know what, I think Nigeria is huge, I think Africa is huge, and you have people coming here. Netflix just came here, I think, last year, and they just began to buy movies and series from Nigeria just last year, end of last year, actually. So that's a huge thing for the industry. We hear Amazon is sort of finding their way here. Apple, I mean, they're all here now. So it's kind of raised the bar, and people are trying to do more. And what that also means is, okay, maybe there's more funding in the market. But before now, it was just crazy difficult. So to answer your question, yeah, we're totally open to foreign content, but it has to be the kind of content that our audience can relate to, or that we
That's
can.
right.
Yes, exactly. But we wouldn't be the first. US content is all over the streets in Nigeria. Trust me.
Nice.
All right. So, what tips do you have, or can you give somebody trying to start an entertainment company in West Africa? What are some of the blood, sweat, and tears you've been through that you're like, listen, you really need to follow this in order to be successful, or you're out?
I know.
Can you hear me?
You have to be doing it for the love. You have to be doing it for the love.
Okay.
You have to love it. You have to love it. You 100% have to love it. And I always tell people, media is not where you come to because you want to make money. Yes, there is a potential to make a lot of money, but you don't do media for the love. You do media because you have something to say, because you have a passion burning in you. You do media because you love it, because it's really a sweat and blood business. You pay with your sweat, and you have 90% of people, they do not understand what you do.
Right.
You have the banks here don't understand what you do. They don't understand the products you create. Why? Because they see it as intangible. When you tell them you want to buy equipment and you tell them how much you bought something, then you show them something like this, and they're like, "What?" So they don't understand the value because it's intangible. It's like how we're all just so crazy about NFT right now. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how Jack would sell a tweet because I tweeted something. It's a mind fuck, right?
Right.
And that's how they see entertainment. That's how they see content. So you have a lot of people who would watch 30 minutes content and just run their mouth and say, "Oh, that content was trash." And you do not understand the number of hours, the months, the number of families that 30 minutes just fed. You do not understand how many people had to bring that to you. You do not understand the number of hours it took to do that. So you have to be doing this for the love. You have to be doing this because you really have a message to pass across. While you are doing that, in the long run, the love will keep you grounded and help you keep going on and stay consistent till it begins to yield. Media is not a place that you come to and expect to hit overnight. It's a long-term thing. You have to, just say what you have to say and stay with it, because not everybody also has to agree with what you have to say, but you will find your tribe. You will find your audience. And no matter how small it is, just believe in it and continue to write, till it blows up. So that's what I have to say to anybody. You have to love it. 100%.
True. So tell everybody where they can find you on social media, your platforms and everything that they can find you at.
Oh, okay. So on social media, I'm Bola, Yinka, Obebe everywhere. And for the platforms, you find at Redbox Africa, and you would find on Instagram, Pop Central this is Pop Central, and everywhere else we're Pop Central TV.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, we say that we say we enjoy everything else. Regular to our family. We're the big one family, and we'd love to have you back.
Thank you for being on the show. Absolutely. And would love to have you come and talk more.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you. Absolutely.
It's been fun.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Enjoy.
Yeah, you too.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, amazing, man. Another banger, George.
Oh, yeah. You know, you get to see what a media company is across the seas in West Africa, and you hear it. You got to do it for the love, the money, the sponsorship that you get here, the ability to raise, you know, $20,000 US to produce a high level pilot. It's not there, you know, but the love and the drive is there. And I think what's going to happen is because as cell phones are getting better, and now you can start shooting videos and commercials with cell phones, and the digital quality is that good. You're going to start to see a lot of better content coming out of these places, not just out of Africa, but Southern Asia, and, you know, all these other places that were neglected places, because ideals are not set to one person. In other words, it's not an American ideal or an African ideal or a Italian ideal. A good ideal is just a good ideal, you know.
That's true.
And we have to start being able to embrace that. So
that is
definitely appreciate.
Trust me, I can tell you about hard and sweat. I do it every day. You know, learn editing, stuff like that. It's hard work, but the reward when you see the finished product, that's what you get the best benefit out of the love. Where you see that finished product and the finished company, and people love it. That's where you get your reward from. That's what you meant by saying you gotta love it. It's part of you. It's your passion.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, that's our show. You know, I definitely agree with you, Frage, 100%. But that's our show. We want to thank Bola,
Yinka, Pape,
Yinka,
Nika,
Yinka,
Yinka,
Obebe, Yinka, Obebe.
I know get you there. I know get you there right.
That's right. That's right. For being on our show. Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Frage.
And that was Real Talk with George and Frazier. Peace.
Peace.
Y'all have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.